out now at Harvey Norman. Get up to 15% of the TV value back in gift cards when you buy with any Samsung soundbar. Shop the latest 65-inch frame QLED TV with up to 15% of the TV value back in gift cards when you buy with any Samsung soundbar. Experience the new Samsung OLED TV with up to 15% back in gift cards when you buy with any Samsung soundbar. The new Samsung TV range, now at Harvey Norman.
Go!
Experience the Genesis difference. Book a test drive today.
Getting the girls around to Jones, so Sarah knows she's not alone.
All of us will lives, so this Australia's biggest morning tea, let's make it personal.
Now it's me time.
Fancy, but there's a better Bref way.
New Bref Spa Moments. Hygienic cleaning with every flush. Now with essential oils for a spa-like feeling.
That was a relaxing moment.
Bref Spa Moments.
In NBN News, a man dead and another under arrest at Raymond Terrace. Major changes flagged to another Hunter Music Festival, and the Knights squad named to take on a depleted Roosters side on Thursday. Details ahead next.
Maths bombshell. Which former groom was a jailbird and drug runner? His tell-all, a current affair tonight.
Green, apples, pears, kids fruit free. Who wants one? Me! Yummy! Making healthier, easier. That's today's fresh food, people.
Don't let me go. No! Don't let me go. No! Don't let me go. No, don't let me go. Don't let me go. Don't let me go. Don't you ever let me go.
Is your bloated belly making you feel fat and miserable? Caruso's Bloaties to the rescue. Caruso's Bloaties contains peppermint and ginger, which are traditionally used in Western herbal medicine to relieve bloating, indigestion and wind, plus digestive enzymes to help your body digest lactose and fat. So if you're fed up with your bloated belly making you feel fat and miserable, try Caruso's Bloaties today. Caruso's Bloaties comes with a money-back guarantee and is available from leading pharmacies and health stores.
The 40 Winks 40-hour sale is on now. Save big with up to 50% off store-wide when you shop online or in-store. Hurry, sale ends Sunday. Exclusions and T's and C's apply. Go to better sleep at 40 Winks.
The whole point is to make the customer happy. So customer has to know that they've got a good deal, they've got a product that will serve their purposes, and it's going to last.
Tiles for your walls, tiles for your floor, save more at Tile Warehouse.
Angie and Jim have taken up a new hobby. But to get ahead, they've opened an IMB Bank term deposit. The security of a great rate means they actually can count their chickens before they hatch. IMB Bank, right by you.
The battle for $500,000 is heating up.
Now that's how you make an impact.
Tonight, 7:30.
You're going to launch a new range of products from one of the biggest brands in the world.
The race is on for the most outrageous street food stuff.
Go, go, go!
And a slice of the sweetest billion-dollar industry.
I can't see a thing.
Oh boy.
Food Stars, tonight, 7:30 on 9.
In NBN News, outrage over NDIS support for a serial sex offender.
You keep them safe when they are in the water.
You're right. When they were out playing.
And went on the road.
Olivia?
Childhood immunisation is a safe, free and effective way to protect your kids from serious diseases. Talk to your health professional and get the information
About what you might.
Tonight, one man dead and another under police guard in hospital following an alleged altercation at Port Stephens.
The Disability Minister steps in amid revelations a serial sex offender will get NDIS support.
A Navy officer named to lead the Defence Force at a crucial time for the AUKUS Pact.
Millions mesmerised by a total solar eclipse. Now the countdown's on for our turn.
And Latrell Mitchell fronts South's management as another big-name bunny falls victim to their form slump.
This is NBN News with Gavin Morris and Natasha Beyersdorf.
Good evening. A 29-year-old is under police guard in Maitland Hospital tonight following the death of a man at Port Stephens early this morning.
Detectives are investigating if a noise complaint sparked a violent altercation where an axe and a scooter may have been used as weapons.
Strewn across Cambridge Avenue in Raymond Terrace, the remnants of what police say was an overnight fight.
I saw someone with an axe and then came outside to check if everything was okay, and a gentleman on the ground dying.
It's alleged 38-year-old Ashley Morgan was wielding that axe, a 29-year-old man a scooter, in an alleged altercation just after 1:30 this morning. Emergency services were called, paramedics unable to save Mr. Morgan, who was found with serious head injuries. Today, forensic police combed the street as Strike Force Lenahan was formed to investigate the incident. Witnesses say they saw several people arguing out the front of a home around half an hour earlier.
The man that came out of the house, the 29-year-old man, does live nearby, and that perhaps the early indications are that he was objecting to the noise. Again, the Strike Force will determine the specifics around that particular issue.
Neighbours say they awoke to what sounded like someone kicking down the door to the home at around 1:30 a.m, several of them calling 000.
The 29-year-old man has been arrested.
He was taken to Raymond Terrace Police Station and ultimately is currently at Maitland Hospital being treated for some injuries that occurred during the incident.
Officers say both men were known to police and they're now examining how well they knew each other.
Well, look, they were known to each other, but only casually. They lived nearby.
At this stage, no charges have been laid, and police are urging anyone with information or footage from the area at the time to contact them. Lauren Kemp, NBN News.
Australia's Defence Force has a new boss. Vice Admiral David Johnston will take on the role from July, and he'll have his work cut out for him. The senior naval officer will be guiding our troops through the most volatile time since World War II.
Australia's top military brass featuring a record 3 women with 3-star ranks, but the new chief, an officer and a gentleman. David Johnson left school to serve at 16 and will now take up the $1 million role.
People who are considering a career in defence have a very bright future and a very capable future ahead of them.
After graduating Naval College, he rose to command HMAS Adelaide and Newcastle. He deployed to the Middle East in 2010, helping coordinate Australian forces in Iraq and Afghanistan. A year later, the commander of border protection during a surge of asylum boat arrivals. In 2018, he became Vice Chief of the Defence Force.
He has been in the engine room of all the work that we have done over the last 2 years, and this is a moment where we need a safe pair of hands.
It's the first time a Navy man has led our forces in over 2 decades, and a crucial time with a strategic review, major projects in shipbuilding and the AUKUS nuclear submarines. Plus, China's rise rise and aggression in the waters of our region.
This will be a time where having somebody from the Navy in the top job will be very worthwhile.
Tonight, an Australian frigate and aircraft are returning from a joint exercise with American, Filipino and Japanese counterparts near the Spratly Islands in the South China Sea.
Strategic competition, particularly between China and the United States, is now an enduring feature of our environment.
This is really about trying to prevent ever having a war with China.
All as Japan prepares to become the first Tier 2 AUKUS partner.
There is an enormous motivation for them to be with like-minded.
What is not proposed is to expand the membership of AUKUS.
Japan's inclusion as a technology partner paves the way for other allies, Canada, New Zealand, one day even India, to unite around the project, each additional nation further angering Beijing.
Authoritarian powers are doing everything they can to undermine democratic systems. Great power competition is back.
Charles Croucher, NBN News.
Convicted pedophile and former Anglican Dean of Newcastle, Graham Lawrence, has been granted parole and will be released from prison within the next week. Lawrence was jailed for the 1991 rape of a 15-year-old boy in October 2019. He served 4 years and 6 months of his 8-year term. The parole board has implemented strict conditions, including electronic monitoring and no contact with the victim. And Lawrence must not communicate with anyone under the age of 16 in person or online.
As the cleanup continues on the Central Coast following last week's deluge, people are being urged to prepare for the next extreme weather event. The SES stressing that severe storms can strike at any time, even outside the official season.
Roofs ripped off buildings and tangled around power lines, and trees collapsed on homes. This is what the Central Coast has endured over the storm season. The SES often the first on scene.
We are volunteers and we join up to help our community.
The Weather Bureau expects storms to become more frequent on the coast from October through to March. Crews responding to more than 700 calls for help during that period.
100 of those occurred on the 9th of December with Long Jetty. We had a severe weather event came from the west.
Last week's downpour of up to 300 millimetres, almost doubling the existing incident count, just days after the storm season officially ended.
From that one alone for Gosford and Wyong units, we had over 600 jobs. A lot of those were initially with flood mitigation. We saw a lot of water come down.
Minor flood warnings remain in place for Chittaway Point and Long Jetty, surrounding Tuggerah Lake.
We've still got crews out at the moment finishing off a couple of jobs. We've got crews out who are just checking on our community.
Control centres allow crews to keep a pulse on emergencies across the region. This SES unit at Wyong, a lifeline for residents on the northern end of the coast. While the cleanup continues from the weekend deluge, volunteers are issuing a timely reminder to brush up on evacuation plans and prepare your home.
Loose items storing inside the house, making sure gutters are clear. These severe weather events can happen at any time.
Amber Griffin, NBN News.
Meanwhile, oyster growers in Brisbane Water will not be able to operate for at least 21 days following heavy rain and reports of sewage spills. Sydney's Warragamba Dam is still spilling, which also impacts salinity in Brisbane Water and the Hawkesbury.
A man and a toddler were taken to hospital as a precaution after a car crashed into a Metford home late yesterday afternoon. The 43-year-old driver and 2-year-old child were initially treated by paramedics at the scene. 2 people inside the house escaped injury. The front of the property suffered structural damage.
The site of the former Maitland Park Bowling Club will reopen stage by stage from this month. Maitland City Council says the car park has reopened with work underway to restore public access to a grass thoroughfare next to the hockey fields. Sprinklers have also been installed to reduce the impact of dust after a recent asbestos detection in soil under the now demolished building. Remediation work is expected to be completed towards the end of the year.
Another music festival has announced major changes, with Pandemonium's 2 sideshows at Newcastle Entertainment Centre reduced to just 1, headlined by Alice Cooper and Blondie. It's also slashed 4 bands from its outdoor touring lineup, along with 1 stage. In an effort to meet fans halfway, organisers have lowered general admission ticket prices for the festival and are offering free tickets or refunds to those who paid the original price. A Hunter woman was today reunited with the New Zealand soldier who saved her husband's life during the Vietnam War. Mike Williams was honoured at the Civic Theatre, where students heard an Anzac tale of courage and mateship.
Tamworth-born Private Philip Barwick fought in the Vietnam War, his service marked by a mural at Gunnedah. He died in 1988, but today his widow, Kath Newman, spoke to students at the Combined Schools Anzac service at Newcastle Civic Theatre as they performed a dramatic and historical portrayal of when New Zealand soldiers saved his life on the battlefield.
At the time, we had no idea who these Australians were. We didn't know them. It was not before years later that I found out his name was Philip Barwick.
The man who administered life-saving first aid to Private Barwick, New Zealander Mike Williams, was also on hand today honouring the Anzac spirit.
It's lovely to be with them because, I can't thank them enough for their role in saving my husband's life.
The platoon commander in Vietnam back then, Norman Fry, has written a book about what happened.
To have the young people like this, put something like this together, it's just fantastic.
He's been fighting for 50 years to get official recognition of the bravery displayed that day. His soldiers treated Private Barwick while under enemy attack.
You haven't got your rifle in your hands, you've got a bandage and, you're trying to work on somebody. It's an incredible, brave thing to do, and these guys did these brave acts without thinking twice about them.
Students showed their appreciation today, while the friendships and the push for a bravery award will continue. Tony Abragetti, NBN News.
Well, again, it was a beautiful morning right across the region, warming nicely throughout the afternoon, hitting almost the mid-20s across the board, but now lines of showers and thunderstorms with hail are tracking across the valley, with a hailstorm that moved across Vasey approaching Dungog. Very strong winds and a massive swell is on the way. Details soon.
Next, how a disease scare led to a tragedy at sea with dozens dead after a boat capsizes off Mozambique.
Revelations: the New South Wales Police Commissioner has racked up a $700,000 bill.
And Americans starstruck by a total eclipse.
Welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West, a state that's untouchable like Elliot Ness. Say what you say, but give me that bomb beat from Dre. Let me serenade the streets of LA. From Oakland to Sacktown, the Bay Area and back down. Cali is where they put they Mac down. Give me love. Shake it, baby. Shake it, Cali. Shake it, Cali. California.
If you love your footy, we've got something for you. Alongside Lee Matthews and Jimmy Bartell, we present Footy Furnace, a brand new show wrapping up every match, every team, every Sunday night. The best analysis, the best opinion, all the big highlights, all the big news stories, wrapping up a huge weekend of footy. That's Footy Furnace on 9 and 9 now.
To the cup, fantastic. Yup to the cup. Yup to the cup, fantastic. Yup to the cup. Yup to the cup, fantastic. Yup, 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 yup. Yup, yup, yup. Yup, yup. Yup, yup. Yup, 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 yup. Yup to the cup, fantastic.
Every conversation brings us closer to a world without child sexual abuse. Let's end child sexual abuse, one talk at a time. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Feel too ill to go to work? Instant Scripts can send a medical certificate straight to your phone. With Instant Scripts, help is as close as. Australia is falling in love with Instant Scripts. Online healthcare is as easy as
People Care Health Insurance is with you through it all, through heavy weights and important dates, through thick and thin and strength to strength, through the years and the generations. People Care Health Insurance, we're with you.
It's days like these, rediscovering a new freedom, a new time for friends and fun, finding new creative expressions, living in a luxury home in a luxury world-class resort. The time to look after myself and finding myself again and again. This is my time at Palm Lake Resort.
At Domain Homes, we meet people like these two every day, searching for a home with contemporary design at an affordable price. Domain Homes offers unbeatable value, so you really can have it all. So you can start doing more of this and plenty of this. Even this is fun. Find out how you can save 10% and price your new home today at domainhomes.com.au.
At least 96 people have drowned off the African nation of Mozambique after a makeshift ferry capsized. Passengers had crowded onto a converted fishing boat to try and flee the mainland, fearing an outbreak of cholera. Officials today confirmed that was misinformation and that false narratives about the disease are common.
6 days on from the Taiwan earthquake, authorities are still searching for two missing Australian Singaporean nationals. This footage shows the couple arriving at the Taroko National Park around half an hour before the quake struck. The park was hit by rock slides. The Aussies are two of 5 people missing, believed to be in the area. Revelations a serial sex offender will soon be released from jail and given NDIS support have forced the disability minister to step in. Wayne Wilmot was involved in the sickening murder of Janine Balding in 1988. He'll be given government paid assistance to live in the community, something Bill Shorten concedes should never happen.
The abduction, rape and murder of Janine Balding horrified the nation. The 20-year-old Sydney bank clerk was snatched by a gang of street kids outside a suburban train station in 1988, brutally assaulted and then drowned in a dam.
They were telling her they were going to murder her. And how awful could that have been?
To see the evilness that was inflicted upon this poor young girl.
Wayne Wilmot was only 15 when he was convicted of being an accessory to Janine's murder, of her kidnapping and rape.
At the time, he was sentenced to 7 years jail, 3 others in his gang given life for murder.
Once released in 1996, Wilmot attacked 4 other women and was jailed again. When his sentence expired in 2019, he was kept locked up under detention orders.
They are very concerned that he will recommit once he is released. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, I believe.
David Balding was 10 when his sister was murdered. He's horrified to learn Wilmot will soon be released and given significant support funded by the NDIS.
Support through a scheme that should be helping people that really need it and are struggling to get it is pretty appalling.
I would much rather see the money go to young children who are desperately in need of financial assistance.
The New South Wales Supreme Court has been told Wilmot's NDIS package will include 8 hours help a week with daily life, 16 hours a week assisting his economic and community participation, plus access to behaviour and health professionals.
The NDIS was not created to be a dumping ground for the state correctional systems for people they don't know how to cope with in society.
Disability Minister Bill Shorten says he doesn't think it'd be safe for those working with Wilmot, and he's frustrated that states and territories are using the NDIS as an alternative to psychiatric treatment.
So you understand Australians who might be appalled that some of these serial sex pests are on NDIS packages worth more than $1 million a year.
I'm appalled at the notion that people could be released in the community who will endanger other Australians.
The Minister has told 9 News he will ask an expert panel of ex-top cops to review the risk posed by some would-be NDIS participants.
I want their advice before we admit people with serious criminal history anywhere near our NDIS.
If the states are using the NDIS as an alternative to rehabilitation and community protection programs, Bill Shorten hopes the expert panel will find out. Andrew Probyn, NBN News.
New South Wales Police are investigating one of their own tonight after a racist video was posted on social media. Sophie Upcroft joins us now from the Sydney Police Centre in Surrey Hills. Sophie, what can you tell us about the clip?
Tash, it was filmed from the passenger seat of a police vehicle. It shows other police cars ahead in convoy. The camera then flips and reveals a crew of specialised police officers from the Raptor squad in their protective gear on the way to a job. It is against the force's code of conduct to record or post any material during an operation. The video is captioned with a racist slur that uses vile language, which we cannot broadcast, and it is now being investigated. Assistant Commissioner Michael Fitzgerald has told 9 News in a statement that the New South Wales Police Force does not tolerate this kind of conduct and is an organisation in which we strive to respect and value the diversity of all people who make up the community that we serve. Tash, an officer from the Raptor squad, has been taken off the road and put on desk duties while this investigation is carried out.
Sophie, thank you. The New South Wales Premier has ordered an urgent review into severance payments after it was revealed Police Commissioner Karen Webb has spent more than $700,000 to sack 4 media advisors in just 2 years. The latest, Steve Jackson, is expected to be paid more than $20,000 despite his employment being terminated before he'd worked a day in the job.
A shadow of wonder was cast across North America today as a total solar eclipse plunged parts of the continent into darkness.
The rare celestial event sparked festivals, viewing parties and even mass weddings as millions looked to the sky.
They packed stadiums and ski fields. Phones at the ready. Millions of Americans craned their necks, gazing skyward as millimetre by millimetre darkness swallowed light. The resort town of Mazatlan on Mexico's Pacific coast felt it first.
It's amazing, amazingly beautiful, once in a lifetime.
The full force of the moon's shadow then passed across the continent and chased by some across the skies.
Look!
The view's breathtaking. From Mexico to Maine, 32 million people in the path of totality. Oh, small towns and big cities, America and the world came to party.
Us eclipse chasers put ourselves in the position where we can get the best chance of seeing it.
4.5 minutes of daytime darkness, something Australians will get to witness next in July 2028.
We are closely watching what is an amazing interstellar phenomenon.
99% of the US experienced at least a partial eclipse.
The universe is incredible. It's like an incredible moment of a natural event.
Today is also a key day for scientists. Here in California, researchers are using the partial eclipse to measure hotspots on the sun.
Radars to track it.
NASA launched rockets to help understand how eclipses could affect satellite operations, and Dallas Zoo studied what the darkness did to their animals. Love was in the air. Diamonds sparkled in the sky.
The diamond ring!
And for a few brief moments, life here for us Earthlings seemed perfect. In the United States, Alison Petrowski, NBN News.
No eclipses, but it was a warm day across the region, and now it's coming to a stormy end in the Hunter. The first snow of the season is always special, and early this morning, as expected, it started to fall in the Alpine districts, making for some very pretty pictures around Thredbo. That cold air is now affecting the Central Coast Newcastle region, with cloud showers, storms and hail rolling across the valley. A severe weather warning is current right along the coastal fringe to the Coffs Coast, with gale force winds building. A deep, intense low is going to form and a massive overnight swell is going to build. Strong, cold southerly winds will hammer coastal communities with showers affecting areas as far north as the Macquarie coast. A very cold start, coldest of the year so far, with a significant wind chill factor on the way.
Next, creeping closer to 70. New figures show Australians are working longer and retiring more gradually.
King of the streets, an escaped lion makes itself a home in an upmarket neighbourhood.
And why Bluey's house has the real estate world barking mad.
Progress is the little girl no school wants.
She feels so let down.
Mackenzie's mum says the system's failing her daughter.
And they're failing hundreds of other families.
Plus, MAF's bombshell. Which former groom was a jailbird and drug runner? His tell-all.
A current affair tonight.
Excite the senses. We all want financial security. To be able to weather the uncertain times.
Week of rain and thunderstorms.
Which is why for over 70 years, Latrobe Financial has been looking out for you, so you can look out for those you love. Invest in Latrobe Financial's multi-award winning 12-month term account with income paid monthly.
This is what pre-flight mornings look like around here. Doing the coffee run, not the M1. Finding yourself the perfect park. So go on, take your pick from over 250 flights a week from Newcastle Airport. Ah, that's the Newy way.
Mortel's annual Bitzer Upgrade sale is on now. Adults, youth and kiddies Bitzers. Locally made comfort for your entire family. Exclusive to Mortel's Sheepskin Factory. Online and in-store, Thornton and Warners Bay.
If you're an executor of a will, do you understand your risks and responsibilities?
As an executor, you need clarity. For an informative chat,
turn to the experts at Turnbull Hill Lawyers.
Good people to turn to. When my dad died, I was left practically nothing. I was so hurt and confused. So I spoke to Beyersdorf. They've seen it all before. Beyersdorf sorted it out. Thanks, Beyersdorf.
Get it sorted. Call Beyersdorf Lawyers. Refresh your bedroom at Harvey Norman with great deals on now. Enjoy a bonus cushion or European pillowcase with selected quilt cover set or coverlet sets, like the Alden, just $119 for the queen size, plus bonus cushion. Featuring 5 zones of micro pocket coil support, the Australian-made Sleepmaker Raphael Queen mattress in 4 feels for $19.99. Make a grand statement with the Australian-made Bellevue extended 4-drawer queen bed, and choose your stain and fabric to suit your style. More to inspire at Harvey Norman now.
Go!
A prehistoric world filled with dinos, bugs and beasts. Monster fun for all the family. Hunter Valley Gardens Mega Creatures. Grab your tickets now at hvg.com.au.
Jack sold his motorbike in his 20s to buy Mia's engagement ring. Today, it's his turn for a surprise. IMB Bank, right by you.
You're watching NBN News. These are our top local stories. A man is under police guard in Maitland Hospital tonight after a 38-year-old died overnight in Raymond Terrace from serious head injuries. Detectives are investigating if a noise complaint sparked a violent altercation. There's been a major boost to mental health services in Tamworth, with the sod turned today on a new care centre set to open by 2025. Mid-Coast residents are calling for construction to start on a Pacific Highway overpass in Harrington, saying further delays could lead to more crashes in the region. Regional Youth Support Services Gosford Hub is due to shut down in Gosford this week due to a lack of funding. And a new social enterprise in Bangalore is creating new jobs for disadvantaged locals. Beacon Laundry will employ people living with a mental illness or experiencing homelessness.
A new date has been set for a decision in the Bruce Lerman defamation trial against Network 10 and Lisa Wilkinson. Justice Michael Lee will deliver his judgment on Monday morning. It was due to be handed down last Thursday, but was delayed when a former Channel 7 Spotlight producer gave fresh evidence about Lerman's interview deal. There were reports a deal was close, but the latest round of ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas have stalled. The setback came as the Israeli Prime Minister declared he's set a date for the invasion of the city of Rafah.
Women and children standing in, digging through what is left of their Khan Yunis home. Where do I sleep? Where do I go? This woman cries. This is the scene right across the city in southern Gaza, where Palestinians are returning after the Israeli troop withdrawal, but the pullback won't be permanent.
This victory requires entry into Rafah and the elimination of the terrorist battalions there. It will happen. There is a date.
A date to invade, despite repeated warnings from world leaders, including the United States.
I have directly put to Prime Minister Netanyahu Australia's concern about a ground invasion of Rafah and the consequences that would be there for the civilian population.
More aid, though, is getting into Gaza.
Yesterday, 304 aid trucks entered Gaza, the highest number of trucks in any single day since the conflict began.
And as cautious optimism spread that ceasefire talks in Egypt were going to garner a result,
we do believe that the Israeli government is ready to make a deal.
That hope now gone. Hamas rejecting the latest proposal, putting the Middle East conflict at another crossroads.
Jessica Millward, NBN News.
After months of mixed messages, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump has given a concrete statement about abortion rights in the United States.
My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state.
He refused to endorse a national ban on terminations, preferring it be left to individual states to decide.
The Vatican has released a new document that labels sex reassignment surgery and surrogacy as threats to human dignity. The 20-page declaration rejects the idea that gender can be self-determined and claims surrogacy harms both carrier and child. LGBT advocacy groups have slammed the document. Equality Australia saying it is, quote, harmful and takes us back to the dark ages.
His pop country hits have topped the charts, but Morgan Wallen has had a fall from grace, arrested for throwing a chair off the roof of a bar in Nashville. Police have charged the singer with 3 felony counts of reckless endangerment and disorderly conduct. It was an expensive night out for the 30-year-old. He was released on $22,000 bail.
French and British troops have swapped places and palaces for a very special changing of the guard in London. It marked the 120th anniversary of the Entente Cordiale, a series of agreements that strengthened Anglo-French relations. It's the first time a non-Commonwealth country's military has participated in the ceremony at Buckingham Palace.
An escaped animal has caused a stir in a suburban neighbourhood of Baghdad. A lion on the loose, perched on a wall in the Iraqi capital after breaking free of its enclosure. Authorities were alerted to the issue by videos circulating on social media. They stepped in, anaesthetised the lion and took it home. Well, Australians are working longer and retiring more gradually, easing the pressure on the aged pension. Experts say if the trend continues, many of us will end up working into our 70s.
Jeff Rolls worked for decades as a scientist, but when he retired, he decided to try his hand at something a bit more artistic.
It was something that I always wanted to do, but never got the chance of doing it.
Also in his weekly painting class is Heather Thompson. She retired from the Defence Force last year at 58 and says she's adjusting well.
Not a problem at all.
Retirees come to this community centre in Melbourne for a range of classes through the week, but a shift is underway. The retirement age is creeping higher.
The
current age we're seeing this year is the highest since the early 70s, so almost 50 years.
The average age of retirement now sits at 66 years and 2 months for men and 64 years and 10 months for women. Going furthest are Melbourne men, working to nearly 67. As for women, in Perth, they're working to 65 and a half. And researchers say the trend is helping the economy.
The longer we have people working, it's a positive for them. They have a little extra money, but also it reduces the burden on the pension system and it brings more taxation revenue in.
The retirement age is expected to keep on rising. In another 20 years, it will be close to 70. But the researchers say there'll be a mix, part-time work and part-time enjoyment.
It's not like, the old days where you'd hit 65 and here's your gold watch and see you later. It's much more of a nuanced transition because people are really looking for that social interaction that they get from work.
Once they do retire, though, there's still plenty to do.
This has been a real godsend because you get to meet people and you learn some new skills.
Chris Kohler, NBN News.
An unwanted milestone has been reached with economic data showing Australia remains gripped by pessimism. More from Chris Kohler.
The research tracks consumer sentiment, so basically the mood of Australians, and it's still very bad. Big falls in consumer sentiment usually reverse themselves within a few months, but these low levels have now been seen for 2 years straight. High inflation and interest rate rises have shown up in this data more than most other places. And until it starts to rise again, people will remain cautious. But on the flip side, the ASX remains within reach of record highs. Plenty of confidence there. The market gained another 0.5% today, with mining companies and Qantas particularly strong. And the Aussie dollar was mixed today, but is touching decade highs against the yen. It's also back above 66 US cents.
Music icon John Farnham has announced he's releasing a memoir titled The Voice Inside. It'll be the 74-year-old's first long-form reflection, covering the highs and lows of his career, as well as his recent battle with cancer. It'll hit shelves in November.
Much loved animated TV series Bluey has fans worried after a recent episode hinted the Healer family could be moving on from its iconic Brisbane home. It has prompted speculation the series could be moving overseas.
But look, I can't do this every time.
Adding to the rumours, the 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom address has been listed on Domain, with agents estimating it would fetch around $6 million if it was to be sold in the real world. Love it.
There you go, solid.
Absolutely. Sophie Scanlon joins us now for sport.
So there was a crucial meeting at Souths today.
After being suspended for 3 matches, Latrell Mitchell was called in front of club management. Tonight we hear about his apology to teammates as another big name falls victim to the Rabbitohs crisis. And the Knights' Greg Marju a chance to return from injury on Thursday.
Take on the fun this autumn carnival. Ladbroken. You win some, you lose more.
Picnicking in one of Dad's favourite places, surrounded by all his favourite faces.
Getting the girls around to Jones so Sarah knows she's not alone.
Raising cash with this motley crew, it really is the least we can do.
Baking my wife's pecan pie, one thing I'll always remember her by.
All of us will be affected by cancer at some point in our lives. So this Australia's biggest morning tea, let's make it personal.
They say, good things come to those who wait. Turns out, that wait's only 90 seconds.
Quick sachets half price this week at Woolworths.
With Macca's new surprise prize, you've got a 1 in 4 chance of winning. With millions of dollars worth of prizes, plus weekly draws for your chance to win $10,000 cash. Peel your fries for a chance to find a prize.
You are my best friend and we've got some things to do.
Hester, super with impact.
With a powerful 2-litre hybrid engine, intelligent 4-wheel drive, and 7 spacious seats, the all-new Tank 500 Hybrid out there awaits. moments like these. Rediscovering a new freedom, living in a luxury home, in a luxury world-class resort. This is my time at Palm Lake Resort.
Realestate.com.au is Australia's home of homes, with more properties for sale than anywhere else. And expert mortgage brokers who can help you find the right home loan to get the deal done. Realestate.com.au.
Mom, Helen stole my slingshot.
Well, he smells like a Spartan.
Hey, look, soup. Now, no more bickering, or you won't be going to the marathon.
Good then. Great now. Heinz. Chris Stapleton's All-American Roadshow goes down under. Coming to Australia in 2025. With Marcus King. Tickets and tour info at livenation.com.au.
If you're surrounded by stuff and you've had enough, you need Electro-Dry Mini Storage. We'll beat any cheaper price by 20%. Compare at electrodrystorage.com.au. Electro-Dry Mini Storage. Electro-Dry Mini Storage.
Teammates insist Latrell Mitchell hasn't lost his love of rugby league as the suspended superstar fronted club management today. Players also backing embattled coach Jason Demetrio, whose job is hanging by a thread.
The meetings are ramping up at Souths, and Warwick Wright, Latrell Mitchell's agent, arrived at Souths headquarters this afternoon to accompany Mitchell in a heart-to-heart with Rabbits boss Blake Solly. Mitchell will be absent for 3 games as star fullback addressing his teammates.
No, I know you're not going to tell us what he said to you as a team, but was he apologetic in any way?
Yeah, he's definitely apologetic of what's happened.
The bigger issue surrounding Latrell was raised by Phil Gould on 100% footy. He's questioned Mitchell's love for the game.
Honestly, if he woke up tomorrow and decided I'm not going to play rugby league tomorrow and went away to his farm and did all that, I would not be surprised. Would anyone be surprised if he left the game tomorrow?
One of Latrell's best mates is confident Mitchell still has a passion for rugby league.
You know him well. Does Latrell want to play the game?
Of course he wants to play the game. And I said the other week when people started asking about Latrell, I'm not here to talk about Latrell. You want to talk about him, you ask him, right? So,
you feel like he is in love with the game still?
Yeah, he is. He's had his best preseason just not long ago.
Mitchell won't be on hand to help save coach Jason Demetrio. The players know they've got a role in bringing him back from the brink.
The responsibility that senior players have right now for the coach's future, how do you feel about that?
Well, we all got his back. No one likes winning. No one likes losing, sorry. No one likes losing, and we're just in one of them patches, mate. We're looking forward, and it's all about this next job.
How hard is it at this sort of time?
It's football. This stuff happens. We can't dwell on the past.
And Damien Cook, once the state's best hooker, was named as 18th man for the Desperate Bunnies. Danny Weidler, NBN News.
The Sharks could be coach killers come Saturday night if they inflict another devastating loss on the Rabbitohs. But Cronulla players are wary of a backlash from a club under siege.
The Sharks can smell blood in the water and know the Bunnies will do anything to survive.
If I was in that position, I would be. So I would be expecting nothing less, and got some great stars in their sides.
Cronulla has tried to ignore the outside noise, but are well aware of what it can do to a team at the centre of it.
Everyone understands it's going to be an intense game, but we don't really talk about it as a group, anything off field. We more look at South from a tactical standpoint.
Will Kennedy is looking forward to a new-look battle of the fullbacks. Instead of facing off with Latrell, he has a new-look challenge in Jai Gray.
We've heard he's a nippy player and he's fast and quick, and we're looking forward to the competition.
In some welcome news, Toby Rudolph has made a speedy recovery from an ankle injury sustained in round 3 and could be a surprise late inclusion.
Yeah, he's fired up. He loves playing footy. I think he's not made to sit at home in his room, so get him out there on the field, I reckon.
While at the Eels, Mike Acevo has been dumped as part of a major reshuffle for their clash with the Cowboys. Dylan Brown will partner Dejan Arce in the halves. Rookie Blaze Talangi returns to the centres, with Bailey Simonson shifting to the wing to replace Sevo. Danica Mason, NBN News.
The Knights' Adam O'Brien has named an unchanged squad to face the Roosters on Thursday night. It seems third time's the charm, with halves pairing Jack Cogger and Jackson Hastings keeping their positions in the starting 17. Greg Marju has been named on the extended bench following wrist surgery after round 2. Chris Waller-trained Via Sistina remains the short price favourite for the $5 million Queen Elizabeth Stakes at Randwick on Saturday. The race is one of 4 Group 1s on day 2 of the championships, which include the $2 million Sydney Cup. Several of Saturday's contenders had their final hit out this morning at track work with the Stars. After the break, the Aussie golfers dream to win the Masters as an amateur, plus Tyson Pedro in Paul Gallen's sights.
Oh, hello, Glow. Rimmel's new Better Than Filters with
Kirin Ichiban, made from only the first press for the purest beer.
Try Hungry Jack's new Bourbon Street Whopper with crispy onion rings and bourbon barbecue sauce. Or fall in love with Bourbon Street Jack's Fried Chicken. New Bourbon Street Jack's Fried Chicken and Whopper. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
sweet shoes. Want 'em? Try the Google app for iPhone. Tap this, snap that. What a vibe. Can't name that song? Tap this, hum that. Right, wait. Tap this, hover over that, and now you know. Find it, hum it, translate it. More ways to search. Download the Google app for iPhone.
The little girl knows school once.
She feels so let down.
Mackenzie's mum says the system's failing her daughter.
And they're failing hundreds of other families.
To be different, it just is. So if you seek different, this is the holiday for you. The Northern Territory, different in every sense.
Dad, have you seen the boat keys? Nope.
Should have gone to Specsavers. Book an eye test today.
Transform your outdoor living area with a touch of a button. Adjust louver rotation, retract open to any position, or close completely for maximum protection with Patio World's new Shade Light retractable opening roof.
Looking for a great deal on your electricity? Switch to Energy Australia today and get 18% less than the reference price. Switch today at energyaustralia.com.au or call us on 133 466.
Every minute.
Every game.
All season long.
This report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Shop in store or at agn.com.au.
Aussie Jasper Stubbs wants to make history at the Masters this week by winning the tournament as an amateur. Stubbs is one of 6 Aussies in the field, including Adam Scott and Cameron Smith.
It's that time, and Augusta is ready to shine. This is the first Masters outing for Jasper Stubbs.
I'm not here to make up the numbers.
The 22-year-old's dream is to turn pro. His backup plan, to keep working for his dad's skip-bin company in Melbourne. This week, he's playing where Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods have been champions.
Growing up in Melbourne on the sandbelt, we've got fast greens everywhere you look. So I think, the fast slopey greens my putting's going to hold up on here.
Phil Mickelson and Sergio Garcia played here before they turned pro, but an amateur has never won.
Dad's been telling me everyone in the field this week's got a chance to win, so I'm keeping that in the back of my mind at all times.
Dad Peter, Mum Fiona and brother Fletcher have all travelled to cheer on their boy.
Spoke to some lovely people on course, and that made me a bit emotional because,
you know, they were saying to us, you must be so proud, you must be so proud.
Today, his playing partner, fellow Australian Cameron Davis.
There's no easy shot into the third green, and he's trying to ask me questions about that. I'm like, honestly, I don't know.
In just over 48 hours, it will be showtime here at Augusta National, and these Australians will be in the mix, part of the field, vying for the green jacket come Sunday. World number one, Scotty Scheffler, marches into the tournament as clear favourite, where even for the players, the stage set is picture perfect. At the Masters, Jonathan Kersley, NBN News.
Chris Terzievsky ended Paul Gallen's boxing career, and now he's looking to ensure Tyson Pedros hits an immediate roadblock. The UFC fighter switching sports after his 5th loss in the cage.
I'm the underdog, so there's no pressure on me. It's a lose-lose for him. If he loses to an MMA fighter, it doesn't look good on the record.
You can catch the bout at Hordern Pavilion on Stan pay-per-view on June 12. And Highland Court cricket for the Northern Summer. The Shrimps are one of the oldest and most successful clubs in Kent and play in a district competition. The last Big Bash season at home wasn't Sanger's best with the Thunder, as he struggled to find runs and match time. The UK competition gets underway on April 20. Australia's Olympic sailing coach has backed the Hunter to keep producing international level talent while competing at Sailfest in Newcastle. Viktor Kovalenko didn't enjoy success on the water himself over the weekend, but a local crew did.
Ideal conditions on the water and a win at home. It doesn't get much better than that for Newcastle's Joe de Kock, who skipped KD1 to its first inshore regatta victory, taking out Division 2 at Sailfest.
We've tried hard many times to win this division without success. We've come very close but never won. So finally, after doing this for maybe 8 years in this division, we've finally won one.
Australian Olympic coach Viktor Kovalenko watched over Hooligan in Division 1.
Big waves from different directions, crossing waves and good winds, and it required a lot of skills to be the winners.
But he was also keeping a keen eye on crews across the harbour.
On each boat we have either Olympians or America's Cup sailors or former Sail GP sailors, top class, cream of the cream of Australian sailing.
Olympic gold medalist Will Ryan, just one of those under his tutelage.
This is his hometown, and a lot of talents are here, and a lot of talents we will see in short future at Olympic Games from Newcastle. We would like to come back to Newcastle again.
Montana Claire, NBN News.
The Hunters' Tom Heyman first raced for Chas Mostert's team at the Bathurst 12-hour, and he clearly impressed. The 19-year-old has now signed with Method Motorsport and is bound for Phillip Island this weekend. It happened back in February, but Heyman still smiles at any mention of the 12-hour, where he finished second in the GT4 class for a team run by a supercars star.
Obviously the 12-hour was at the top of my bucket list, so to be able to do it already is absolutely awesome. And yeah, he welcomed us all in with open arms, and yeah, it was a great weekend.
He's since put pen to paper with Method Motorsport and believes the outfit has the potential to take him all the way.
I'm hoping I'll get to go overseas. The plan is already there to be able to go over there in 2025 into America or Europe. So I think he'll open a lot of doors in the manufacturer side of stuff.
Heyman's next chance to impress is this weekend's opening round of the GT4 Australia Series at Phillip Island, where he'll again race a McLaren Artura.
Yeah, so that was the car we actually drove at the 12-hour. It'll be a brand new car this weekend, so we'll have a few new little upgrades, but yeah, hopefully it'll be easy to adjust to.
It's the 19-year-old's series debut, but he believes his youth will only help.
Being a young driver pairing, obviously I'm driving with Marcus Flack. We're both under the age of 20, so I think hopefully our ability to produce the car speed will give us the advantage.
The event begins on Friday. And all the best to Tom.
For sure. Thank you, Soph.
All right, thank you, Soph. Heavy rain throughout the valley, showers running up the coast and some strong winds and big seas and swell on the way. Details next.
Maths bombshell.
which former groom was a jail bird and drug runner. His tell-all, a current affair next.
Need an energy boost? Start your day with Barocca. Try Barocca 60s, only $19.99 at Chemist Warehouse. Packed with 12 essential vitamins and minerals to keep you energised. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
At Spotlight, life's what you make it. VIP save 50% off cotton flannelette bed linen. VIP save 40% off winter electric blankets and 50% off Coo Quilt cover sets. So make it, snuggle it and shake it for less. All backed by our bargain guarantee. Sale starts tomorrow. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
It's days like these, rediscovering a new freedom, living in a luxury home, in a luxury world-class resort. This is my time at Palm Lake Resort.
When a cold disturbs your family's sleep, Vicks Vapor Rub relieves cough, nasal congestion, headaches and muscle aches. They sleep, you sleep. Vicks Vapor Rub relieves 4 cough and cold symptoms.
2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
The Big Mac is the original mouthful. A one-of-a-kind flavour that now comes in 3 sizes.
Anaconda's Easter Madness sale is on now. Up to 50% off camping gear, outdoor clothing, kayaks, bikes and more. Some exclusions apply. Up to 50% off Easter Madness sale on now at Anaconda. Play more and pay less without 10% price beat guarantee. Anaconda!
The world of musicals in concert is back with a brand new production, with an international cast performing all your favourite songs from all the hit musicals in one concert event. The world of musicals in concert is simply not to be missed. Book now.
You can't escape it. You're faced with choices every single day. But whatever choice you face, we're here to help. Hunter Primary Care.
At the Australian Caravan Centre, you'll find your dream caravan, offering brand new, pre-owned, off-road, touring and luxury caravans. Our friendly staff will find the caravan that suits your needs and budget. Australian Caravan Centre, Heatherbrae, Newcastle.
Are you thinking al fresco and looking for something simple? Call HV Aluminium.
Looking for something special? Call HV Aluminium.
Looking for something stylish? Call HV Aluminium.
Or looking for something stunning? Call HV Aluminium and find whatever you're looking for.
Okay, I hope you're ready for the coldest night and the coldest morning of the year so far. I'll admit, I got all the heaters out throughout today. I'm ready. It is a strong system. And as we saw earlier, the first snow of the season falling across the Alpine districts early this morning. Let's go to this evening's weather photo. Heath loves it. The early morning walk, Fingal Spit. Why wouldn't you go? It's a little bit isolated, but the rewards are there. Looking north along the Port Stephens coastline, the islands offshore. Over the past 24 hours, very little rain, but it's all about this system. A defined line of cold air sweeping across southern New South Wales throughout today, reaching us tonight. That triggered some isolated showers and thunderstorms and some snow across the Alpine districts. Olga is breaking down offshore. It's now all about this. We have not seen this for a very long time. It is a massive, highly impactful low offshore. It's going to generate a monster swell. Very strong coastal winds overnight, and we'll see the wet weather skim along the coastal fringe, and that's where the severe weather warning remains in place. But it is going to be a powerful system ripping through quite quick, and we've got the coldest nights and mornings since last year on the way, and that includes Sydney town getting hit with it throughout this afternoon. Ahead of it, still very warm and dry and lovely for Brisbane, but they'll see the colder, dry. They've got the real beautiful autumn winds with them, that drier, southwesterly, and then the sunshine warm in the afternoon. Not bad in the Alice and throughout the north. Perth is still warm, settling down a little bit throughout the southeast. They copped that over the past 24 hours. Today it was glorious. We saw the showers and some of those storms start to come in as the colder air moved in. Look at the thermoscale. We haven't seen that so far. And look at the winds along the coastal fringe. Very, very dangerous winds there across those exposed coastal areas. The showers just skimming through the coastal fringe also overnight and during tomorrow, then pulling away offshore. But the big thing that we're going to notice is early morning temperatures. Wind chill factor. If you're outdoors working early tomorrow, be prepared for it. We haven't had it for some time. It'll be a little bit of a shock to the system. Even though we're expecting top temps around 20 degrees with the winds for most of the day, the cooler air, there'll be a bit of a wind chill factor, making it feel cooler than this. But we've got a single-digit start. We haven't had one for a very long time. Seas and swell, 5-6 metres, gale force wind warning for the coast. Don't want to be offshore overnight. Come on into a safe harbour. Sun is up, 6 down 538. The high tide about 9:30 just before, 1.72 of a metre, and of course everything is going to change as far as that swell is concerned. Some coastal showers, lingering partly cloudy conditions, mid-20s, cold nights, very chilly for the valley, single digits all the way through to the weekend. Pretty cool starts, but warmer and calmer Saturday and Sunday. Central Coast, they got hit early this afternoon, and there's more to come overnight. Take care. As we go to the beaches, it's going to be a far different story throughout tomorrow. I hope you got your fix. I think it's just going to be a wait and see moment to check out the swell, probably just too big and out of control for most surf breaks and beaches throughout tomorrow. But then it will settle quite quickly as we progress towards the weekend. But the coast is going to be pretty wild early in the morning. Oh, good sleeping weather tomorrow.
Sounds good to me. Finally tonight, Australian researchers say replacing table salt with a substitute can reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease by about 17%. The Bond University study says reduced sodium, increased potassium substitutes are a good alternative. High salt intake accounts for 10% of all cardiovascular deaths, which is sobering, but I did like the look of the chips.
Yeah, me too. I salt mine heavily, sadly.
Well, that is our bulletin for this Tuesday. Our current affairs coming up next and updates throughout the evening.
So thanks for your company, and from all of the NBN team,
good night.
Good night.
Hello, I'm Ali Langdon. Welcome to A Current Affair. Coming up, the Married at First Sight groom who did serious jail time for drug smuggling.
$100,000 a trip, which is a couple hours work.
But first, every child deserves an education. Mackenzie is 7, and already this year she's been suspended from school 5 times. She's not a bad kid. She lives with autism and struggles in class. When Mackenzie is there, other students suffer. When she's not there, she suffers. And there's nowhere else for her to go.
Seven-year-old Mackenzie is like most little girls. She loves painting and her dogs, CJ and Fitzy.
Fitzy's a silly boy. He fell off my mum's bed.
According to Mum Cass, she's also a child no school wants.
She often will come to me and tell me that the school hate her, nobody likes her, the school doesn't want her there, and she feels so let down and she feels disappointed.
It's because Mackenzie is different.
Yeah, so she's got the ADHD and the autism and the ODD. It just makes it really hard for her to concentrate, and she gets very overwhelmed with noises and different changes in lighting.
That means a regular classroom setting can be too much for her and causes Mackenzie to panic.
That's cool. When she's overwhelmed, she needs space. She needs to be able to be left alone, and unfortunately in a mainstream setting they don't leave them alone, and that makes her go off more. Another person.
When we visited Mackenzie at her Kurri Kurri home in the New South Wales Hunter Valley, she was suspended from her school, Telerepublic. Cass says Mackenzie can get overstimulated in class.
Because she gets triggered and overwhelmed, and then her behaviour, she will throw chairs around, she will get cranky, try to barricade herself in the classroom. Would work, what about $3.80 or $3.60?
Her mum says that's Mackenzie experiencing a direct reaction to her diagnosed condition. Despite this, she was still suspended for being aggressive.
If they just give her space and give her time to regulate herself again, we wouldn't be in this situation. Or you're going to start there, you do them ones and I do this.
So far this year, Mackenzie's been suspended 5 times, 10 since August last year.
Are the teachers equipped to deal with Mackenzie and give her the care she needs?
They're not at all equipped. I do believe in some sense they do try and their hands are a little bit tired, but I'm not sure they try enough.
Cass says it's clear her daughter doesn't belong in a mainstream classroom. The school does offer a support class for pupils with additional needs, but Cass says they won't let her in.
Apparently there isn't any spots, and unfortunately when she was suspended for her last one, her application wasn't strong enough. They told us at the meeting, the Department of Education lady who was there told the school to make the application stronger. When she's already had 8 suspensions, like her application should be strong enough.
Is Mackenzie causing disruptions to the other students in her class?
And I feel bad for the other kids in her class because they do often have to evacuate the classroom, or her behaviour does disrupt them.
Also full is Aspect Hunter School, a close-by specialist learning centre for children with autism. Mackenzie's on the wait list.
At this point, she doesn't really have an education. She goes to school when she's there and she's not learning most of the time. Just 8, not 18.
Cass is a single parent. Her dad retired early to help care for his granddaughter.
It's too hard on my work for me to leave whenever the school ring, which at this point is quite regular. She can't even stay there a week.
This can have a lifelong damage to this young girl's mental health. Let's make no bones about it. Autistic adults tell us all the time that for them, their school years were harrowing.
Nicole Rogerson is CEO of Autism Awareness Australia.
I don't think any grown adult who is a serious person would be able to look at an autistic student and think that that was performative and they're being aggressive and not understand that. A school principal who takes that view should be absolutely ashamed of the outcome of suspending a child like this.
Nicole says there's less support in regional areas, but there are always ways to help children like Mackenzie.
There's a bevy of research in what works. We can do it. If a school don't want to do it or say they can't, it really is because they don't want to.
You're making me work.
She says Mackenzie's story is a common...
The education system is absolutely failing this little girl at the moment, but she is not alone.
A recent Autism Awareness Australia survey found 35% of families with children on the spectrum have been discouraged from enrolling in school or refused. 50% of those parents experience this in the public school system. In a statement, the Department of Education told A Current Affair it's working closely with Mackenzie and her mum to best support her at school and ensure a safe learning environment for all students and
this
staff.
Problem isn't going away. It's something that education departments need to step up and rise to the challenge.
They're failing my family and they're failing hundreds of other families. Like, we're not the only people in this situation.
Yeah, it's a really tough situation. You've got kids like Mackenzie who need that extra help falling through the cracks, and that's not good enough. But it is also really hard for schools and teachers who have a whole class to think about. They say reality TV can be a wild ride, but long before maths, groom Timothy Smith lived a life of danger and excitement and paid a very big price for it. Timothy has kept his prison past a secret for 17 years. That is, until now.
I was a helicopter pilot in North America that did something really stupid and made a decision to fly marijuana across the Canadian border into the US and got caught doing it. no guards, 4 walls, 180 guys. You guys figure it all out. I made the decision, but it affected everybody.
For 17 long years, Timothy Smith has struggled alone with the consequences of his darkest time. It's a tale of helicopters, drugs, prisons and pain that the 51-year-old is finally ready to share, a chapter he kept from MAF's producers. Why did you keep this a secret for so long?
Oh, look, it's something I'm not proud of. I'm definitely not proud of it. But it doesn't define who I am. And, I'm not the same person I was 17 years ago.
On this year's season of Married at First Sight...
Hi, I'm Tim.
Hi, Tim. Timothy's stoic side and trademark tattoo saw him nicknamed the Tin Man. But what many didn't know was that the Tin Man had spent time in the clink.
Sometimes good people just make some dumb mistakes.
Timothy grew up in the mining town of Mowra, central Queensland. His mum Naree had him at 16 and Tim was close to her and his little brother Dave. Was this a pretty happy time in your life?
It was the happiest,
By his early 30s, Tim was living in Canada, newly divorced and juggling jobs in construction and nightclubs.
Somebody said one night, do you think you could fly a helicopter? And somebody threw some money and said, go take a lesson tomorrow and see how you go. And I went and took that lesson. And, the instructor said, you're a natural. And I went back and said, I'm a natural. And thus the beginning of the end. 2 fingers.
A cowboy self-taught pilot, Tim found himself behind the controls of a chopper like this one on early morning flights.
Did I know I was doing something wrong? Look, I knew I wasn't doing something right.
Tim was smuggling marijuana from Canada into America.
I would take off from a little unmanned airport and I'd fly up a valley into a creek where I'd meet a 4-wheel drive and fly in behind it and land, and within a minute the helicopter would be loaded.
It was a job with high rewards. Tim made 20-plus trips for the group in 2006 and 2007.
$100,000 a trip, which is a couple hours work. A size 10 shoebox with $20 bills holds $20,000. 5 shoe boxes is $100,000. Each bill in Canada weighs 1 gram. If you don't have time to count it, weigh it.
But news from home soon grounded him. Timothy's mother had cancer and he flew to be with her. After a few days in Australia, he boarded a plane back to LA. And when you landed back in Los Angeles, what happened next?
My world changed. It changed forever.
Arrested at arrivals, Tim would don the prison garb and serve his sentence in America's maximum security system. What were you charged with?
I was charged with trafficking marijuana over an international border.
How did you plead?
Guilty.
And what was your sentence?
It was a 12-month sentence, but then they tacked on another, I think, 4 or 6 months in immigration.
But Tim's true punishment would be the guilt that would follow. While in jail, his mother Naree lost her battle with cancer.
That's where the sentence starts.
By the time Tim was released, his brother Dave would also lose his life. A few weeks earlier, the pair talked on the phone, not knowing it would be their last chat.
He goes, don't let anyone mess with you. And
I'll be there when you get out. It seems like this TV Tin Man has found his heart. It's just a little broken. And though he can't change what's happened, he plans to walk a yellow brick road of redemption.
I'm sorry for what I did. Sorry to everyone I hurt. And I don't want anyone to do what I did. And I don't want you to think there's some sort of glamorous life out there. They are Hollywood movies, and there's real consequences.
And he paid them, didn't he? Well, he's the billionaire on a mission to solve a mystery close to his heart. Andrew Twiggy Forrest searching the ocean for a plane wreck and his long-lost uncle's final resting place. It's given closure to his family and others who lost loved ones in World War II.
In the murky depths of the Solomon Sea, a plane wreck comes into view. Sitting untouched for 8 decades, Australia's richest man has spent more than a year pinpointing the remains of this World War II bomber. Andrew Forrest hoping this wreckage will solve a mystery.
Look, we're not sure, but it's exploration. This is what exploration is all about.
A mining magnate, Twiggy Forrest is a man on many missions, but this is his most personal, searching the Bismarck archipelago off the coast of Papua New Guinea for the remains of his long-lost uncle. David Forrest was shot down piloting his RAAF Beaufort bomber into an attack on a Japanese-held airstrip at Gasmata in Papua New Guinea in 1943.
David was 22 and he knew the jaws of death he was going to fly into. He never thought he would die, though, like all of them. He thought that somehow miraculously he might escape.
The loss of Uncle David has haunted the Forrest family for 80 years.
When they got the letter from the King back then, saying that Uncle David was missing and presumed killed in action, then Dad went through extreme emotions and grief, and since that day, never cried for the rest of his life.
Twiggy's dad, Donald Forrest, passed away last year, aged 95.
One of his last wishes was just to hold Uncle David's dog tags in his hands before he died.
Aboard his purpose-built research vessel, Twiggy and his sister Janie are joined by a crew of experts, including professional marine archaeologists.
It's holding a plate, it's quite a distance, whereas here, the stitching's really close in.
Northeast of Port Moresby, this is about as remote as you can get. It's crocodile country. They're leaving no stone unturned, trawling water 40 metres deep and searching through jungle around the old Gasmata airstrip. In 1942, Gasmata fell into Japanese hands, becoming a target for our RAAF twin-engine torpedo bombers. Near our village, Twiggy's team confirms the location of another Beaufort bomber.
Aluminium under immense heat. It's melted all around the flare gun, which would have been attached to the side of the cockpit. And so it shows just how close we are to the boys who died.
Really, those old planes, you know, they're the greatest technology back then, but you look at them now, they're like flying a truck.
Today, local villagers grow up learning of their region's place in history.
Goodbye. Thank you for having us.
This search is privately run with the blessing of the PNG government, but this mission has remained under wraps until now. This is never before seen vision from 2021 when the Forrests thought they'd found their Uncle David's final resting place.
It was really emotional. It was very heart-wrenching as you went down into the depths thinking, am I going to dive on Uncle David's plane and, you know, be part of solving the mystery, maybe even his remains, maybe even his dog tags.
The serial number on David Forrest's Beaufort bomber was A9188, but the bomber they'd found was A9186.
And then I had to tell Dad, I can confirm it was a Beaufort bomber, I can confirm it was Australians, but I have to confirm it wasn't your brother's. And it was just tough.
For Keith Wiggins, the search had found his uncle, Clem.
Well, I think after so many years of our uncertainty with our Uncle Clem's passing during the war, it was really a surprise, and we were astonished and thankful that we had some sort of knowledge of his final resting place.
Small amounts of bone were retrieved and analysed by anthropologists and DNA specialists who identified Wiggins 79 years after he was killed.
You know, we're very, very appreciative. It was beyond our expectations to find, you know, our lost ancestor, and I wish him all the best, and I hope that, you know, he does find closure and does find his Uncle David.
More remains identified Warrant Officer Russell Henry Grigg from Queensland, his 2 surviving children expressing their complete surprise and sincere gratitude in an emotional letter. Mary and Frank, now aged 86 and 81, writing, "It means the world to us to finally know our father's resting place." That doomed plane had 2 more crew members, Flight Sergeants Albert Beckett and Gordon Hamilton. Their remains weren't found. The RAAF has confirmed no further recovery is planned, calling the crash site challenging. A special memorial is being held for all 4 families in Queensland a day after Anzac Day. For yet another year, Andrew Forrest and his family will spend another minute's silence thinking about Uncle David's ultimate sacrifice.
I think the tremendous freedom we have to just head out west and go exploring, for you to choose the career you want to choose, for anyone watching to say, well, I want to do this with my life, or I want to do that with my life. Well, we wouldn't have had that choice. We would have been told what we were going to do, and that was it.
As a successful businessman, Andrew Forrest is all about the bottom line. But this personal mission is different. Is this costing tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or more? Can you estimate how much you're at with this mission?
No, I'm not going to put a cost on it. It's an investment which is being made for the heritage of Australia, for the heritage of and closure of tragedies. And if it can do anything, it's to continue to draw attention to how very grateful every Australian must be for those youngsters who died.
The likelihood of finding Uncle David is slim. This crew knows that. But Andrew Forrest says he owes it to his old man to keep looking. Did you ever promise him that you were going to bring his brother back?
No, I just said I'd do my best. It's not whether or not you achieve it, it's whether or not you did your best.
Up next, get cash to get fit. Should gym junkies get a tax kickback for working out? Plus, the reunion we've all been waiting for.
I got a cuddle. Wow. I got to kiss him on the forehead. Can cuddle mum and dad.
The battle for $500,000 is heating up.
Brushing and flossing removes germs and plaque temporarily. Listerine destroys them. It beats plaque with 5 times more cleaning power than brushing and flossing alone. Complete the clean with Listerine.
Tomorrow we look at the new biopic on the talented and tragic Amy Winehouse. MasterChef alumni and all-round good guy Adam Lior is here.
And how often should you wash your sheets, your jeans, your smalls? The answers may surprise you.
People need to focus, Gordon.
Complain at the end, kid, not at the beginning.
Food Stars, next on 9 and 9 Now.
They sorted my electric car here, just in time for school pickup. Better go.
We got a tyre change here.
Dad forgot his tools.
They got my van back on the road with a new battery. Before, everything got a bit, melty.
The NRMA is Australia's largest roadside assistance network.
I locked my keys in the...
There you go.
Thanks.
Too easy.
We get you moving every time, no matter where you are. This is roadside assistance.
Rough cold, bro. Try Vicks Vapor Drops extra strong. Up to 3 times more menthol. How's the nose and throat?
Vicks Vapor Drops extra strong.
What's your pitch?
Forget the pitch. You've got an itch.
That itch could be dandruff. Silence it. Head & Shoulders removes up to 100% dandruff and itch.
Head and Shoulders.
Parallel universes might exist, but why would you ever want to leave your Aussie wall quilt for just $99.99? It's special you can buy at the Aldi Winter Bedding Sale this Wednesday. Aldi, good, different.
Remember, stay focused. I'm just here for a toe ball. Wait a sec. Hilux is in stock. Oh.
Find your O at your local Toyota dealer with Hilux stock available now. Toyota.
Nope, it's not down here either. Get another look from the Spextravaganza store-wide sale. Get any two pairs store-wide for only $199. Save up to $200. Limited time only.
Life at home keeping you busy? Order online or through the Woolworths app and get your shopping delivered straight to your door the same day. That's today's fresh food people.
There's a safety recall on solar system batteries branded LG, LG Chem, and some Solax products. Affected batteries may overheat and catch fire. Even if you have checked before, please check again.
Looking for a contemporary home at an affordable price? Discover unbeatable value at Domain Homes. Find out how you can save 10% and price your new home today at domainhomes.com.au.
Australian-made furniture, made for you at Harvey Norman. Have it designed to suit your space. Australian-made lounges built for family life with options in fabric, leather, size and shape. Australian-made dining furniture created to fit your space. Matching buffets, entertainment units and more to complete your look. Australian-made quality and comfort at competitive prices with a range of options available. Support local manufacturers and choose Australian-made furniture. Made for you. Now at Harvey Norman.
Go! You asked for it and we heard you. Blondie is coming to Newcastle. Joined by Wolfmother and Cosmic Psychos. It'll be a night that'll leave you in raptures. Don't miss Debbie, Harry and Blondie with Wolfmother and Cosmic Psychos in their only Pandemonium sideshow. Newcastle Entertainment Centre, April 22. Tickets at pandemonium.rocks. Presented by New FM.
Let's get physical. It's what the great Olivia Newton-John encouraged us all to do. Exercise, though, isn't everyone's cup of tea. What if there was a little cash thrown in to inspire us to get a little sweaty?
We all exercise for different reasons.
I have type 1 diabetes, so it really helps me manage my health. It's definitely a form of self-care.
I want to be mobile, I want to be able to move and carry my groceries.
Owner of MFW Fitness, Christine Meister, has worked in the fitness industry for 15 years. Every day, she sees the positive impacts.
So we've seen diabetes markers turned around here. We've seen back issues resolved. We've seen knee issues resolved.
Now, more than ever, the cost of living is impacting people's ability to pay to exercise.
Finance is probably the #1 barrier for anybody joining any gym.
AusActive is the peak body for the fitness industry, calling on the federal government to offer financial incentives to get people moving. CEO Barry Elvish is spearheading the campaign.
The fact that we are now 140 out of 146 countries in physical activity is just going to deteriorate.
The proposal has 3 elements.
The first one, which already has bipartisan support, is a national public education campaign encouraging Australians to get outdoors, get off their backsides and just partake in any exercise.
Secondly, AusActive wants the government to encourage employers to provide staff with a gym membership by granting businesses an exemption under the fringe benefits tax.
Anything you can use to help incentivise your team to be motivated at work and be happier at their work-life balance would be great.
I think it would definitely encourage some of my colleagues to exercise and it could be something we could do together.
And thirdly, it asks for those paying their own memberships to get an income tax deduction.
It cost me just under $1,000 a year to go to my gym. Now, if that was tax deductible, I would get a refund through my tax return of about $350 per year.
And this is really going to remove the barrier for all people because it would be at your own marginal tax rate.
While the proposal refers to gym memberships, if it is successful, you wouldn't have to work out in a traditional gym environment. Things like Pilates, yoga and Tai Chi could all be included as long as they're supervised by qualified trainers.
To be able to claim that back would be amazing.
In their submission, AusActive say around 75% of Australian adults are not meeting the recommended physical activity guidelines, and it's estimated diseases caused by inactivity cost the health system more than $2 billion in 2018 to 2019.
You end up spending less money at the beginning than you do at the end if people are unwell.
Whether the proposal gets up will be revealed in the federal budget next month.
The changes that we know will come from this request will take a generation. So that's going to require some vision, some long-term planning from politicians.
Well, she was there for them in their hour of need. And now retail worker Sharon Daly, who you might remember making that mad dash with towels, has been reunited with the baby she helped deliver in a servo car park. This is the moment she officially met mum Sonia and little baby Winston, who's doing very well, we hear, after racing into the world 11 days early. The family's so grateful to their makeshift midwife Sharon, who was over the moon to see the bub today.
Sharon, you've got a smile from ear to ear. How was it? Did you get to meet the baby?
I got a cuddle.
Wow.
I got to kiss him on the forehead, cuddle mum and dad. They're so happy, so happy, and he is precious. He looks like he's grinning already. Every time you touch his little cheek, he's absolutely perfect.
A perfect end to a beautiful story, and congratulations to the happy parents. Up next, half a house and a whole lot of problems. A developer's moving in, but this owner won't budge.
Half gone, but this half still here.
Lego Masters. I'm back. Australia.
Tomorrow we look at the new biopic on the talented and tragic Amy Winehouse. MasterChef alumni and all-round good guy Adam Lior is here.
And how often should you wash your sheets, your jeans, your smalls? The answers may surprise you.
Craftsmanship. Creativity. Obsession. Why? For the love of chocolate. Excellence by the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
Olay Retinol 24 is Australia's #1 retinol range. Olay's cream hydrates better than a $100 retinol product, renews and resurfaces while you sleep. Wake up to plumper, younger looking skin. Olay Retinol 24.
Hey, how do I move this?
Try that one. Hey,
Yeah.
you know nobody should ever ask you to send pictures of yourself? If you're not sure, you can always talk to me. Okay?
Yeah, cool.
Every conversation brings us closer to a world without child sexual abuse. Let's end child sexual abuse, one talk at a time. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Do you know who's in charge of this local IGA? Not the owner, Mike. It's Jackie. Her Thursday night pie is ready and waiting. Because there's a place that knows exactly what locals need.
When a cold disturbs your family's sleep, Vicks Vapor Rub relieves cough, nasal congestion, headaches and muscle aches. They sleep, you sleep. Vicks Vapor Rub relieves 4 cough and cold symptoms.
Bega, Australia's most loved cheese. Freedom's mid-season sale is on now, with up to 60% off Sealy mattresses and up to 30% off selected bedroom furniture. Plus, for a limited time, get 50 months interest-free store-wide. Conditions apply. Only at Freedom.
Clean
Clean up with bonus cashback at your local Better. Like this front load washer, $548 and bargain $498 after bonus cashback. Or this refrigerator, $2,999, a cool $2,699 after bonus cashback. Go local, that's Better.
Samsung 2024 TV range out now at Harvey Norman. Get up to 15% of the TV value back in gift cards when you buy with any Samsung soundbar. Shop the latest 65-inch frame QLED TV with up to 15% of the TV value back in gift cards when you buy with any Samsung soundbar. Experience the new Samsung OLED TV with up to 15% back in gift cards when you buy with any Samsung soundbar. The new Samsung TV range now at Harvey Norman.
Well, girls and boys, it's been another very exciting day for our friend Big Dog. Lots of adventure and fun for everyone. But now it's time for Big Dog to say goodnight. Good night, Big Dog. Good night, girls and boys. Sweet dreams.
Tomorrow night, half is luck.
Half house hell.
Half gone, but this half still here.
The family's standing its ground against a developer.
Price is no good. Yeah, patiently.
How long can they hang on?
Half a house, it's good.
So much for downsizing.
But they've taken the other half.
And we'll have that story tomorrow. That's our program. I'm Ali Langdon. Thanks for your company. Have a great evening.